This is Off the Record, where I help you discover new artists and new music. My name is Isaiah. I'm super pumped because today we're doing a rerun of 3 of my favorite country segment takeovers: Luke Robb, Cooper Ledford, and Rocco Gorelik. And I'm so excited for us to rerun these and go back and relive these incredible interviews, because all the music we're talking about in future tense in these episodes are out now for you to go listen to. But before we jump into those interviews, which I'm so excited to rerun those, relive them, I told you I would talk a little bit about some of my favorite country releases this year. And there's 2 albums for me that have stood out this year that I keep coming back to. First one being David Lewis, Barstool Sermons. This is the best way to describe it is honky tonk. It feels like you're out and about with a group of friends, like it's going out country music, but it has like that 90s tone to it. My track is Honky Tonk Heart. That's like my all-time favorite on this album. It's just incredible beginning to end and a good time. The whole album is a good time. I would put this album on in the background at like a dinner party that was Western themed or country themed. I mean, it doesn't have to be themed, but normally I just love a good themed party. And then the second one, Zach Top, Ain't In It For My House. Now, this album is not as strong as Cold Beer and Country Music, his first album, his debut album. But I will say there are so many fun moments on it. And I think it was so hard because his first album was truly a no skip. Like every single track on there was solid and came from a place of vulnerability as well as relatability. It was relatable is what I'm trying to say. Whereas this new one is kind of like, I'm playing a show in Montana, and I'm like, I don't play a show in Montana, I can't relate to that. But it is still an incredible album, and when you see me, the harmony on that, it's just so, that's what I love about Zach Top, is his harmonies and his melodies is just through the roof. And then when we talk about singles, Ty Myers has been putting out a bunch of singles, but my favorite single this year is Leaving Carolina from him. That one is such a good time. And so those are some of my favorite country releases to come out this year. And I hope you enjoy these interviews and enjoy these songs. Was a beauty pageant queen. I was Welcome back to Off the Record, your favorite radio playlist where I help you discover new artists and new music. And today I am here with rising country star Cooper Ledford. Cooper, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
I'm so excited to talk to you. And the first question I always like to ask people is, what were your music inspirations growing up? Not artists you discovered, but more what was being played around you and who was showing you music as you were coming of age?
For sure. So when I was a little kid, my mom was always sang throughout my entire childhood. So she sang me a lot of James Taylor. Carolina in My Mind was the first song I remember hearing. Yeah. And like Merle Haggard, Keith Whitley, my dad used to play a lot of Conway Twitty. So a lot of old country stuff.
Yeah. And you definitely see that like influence in your music, of course.
I try my best, try to keep it alive.
What brought you to country music? And it's kind of like 2-part. What brought you to country music and what kind of shaped you to think, you know what, I want to be a singer-songwriter. I want to be an artist. Yeah,
so I've just grown up listening to country. I've connected with it more than any other genre. I listen to other stuff. I love blues, rock, that kind of thing. But country, I think the storytelling aspect has always been really big for me, and like that's what's always kind of connected me to it. And my entire life, not just songwriting, but I've always, made up little stories and stuff when I was a little kid and things like that. So I've always loved writing, and then later on I started kind of singing, and then I started writing songs, and then I realized how much I hated school, and I maybe didn't want to go to school. So I was like, maybe I should try this singing thing, and I fell in love with it, and that's just kind of the path I've been on.
That's awesome. You kind of already touched on this, what I'm about to ask, but you talked about being a storyteller and always writing down stories. What is kind of your process like when you are creating your music? And when it comes to the storytelling aspect of it, where right now are you finding a lot of your inspiration from?
Yeah, so definitely moving to Nashville I just moved to Nashville, but moving to Nashville and kind of dealing with that, being 19 and having such a big, change in my life is definitely producing a lot of pretty good songs, I would say. There's a lot of, I really like to write about just kind of I don't know how else to put it, but the human experience, kind of,
Yeah.
just the complexities of mourning, leaving, celebrating, leaving your hometown, that kind of thing,
Yeah.
and dealing with what's ahead, and knowing that you can't do it without God, and that kind of thing. I really like writing about that kind of stuff. I think it's very personal to me, and I think it's something that a lot of people can connect with and relate to. But I mean, just a lot of people talk about cliches and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Um, I don't really so much even believe in cliches. I don't think there's a such thing as a cliche if you write it right. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Like if you write a good enough song, it can't. You can't say like, oh, you can't write a. If cliches matter, then no one would be writing any songs about
Exactly.
drinking or love or sadness or anything. So as long as you're writing something that's real to you and real to someone else, I think that you can write whatever you want and it'll connect.
I think that's like the beauty of like what your work is. I mentioned this to you off camera, but your music is very personable and vulnerable. You very much put your heart, and you could tell it, and it comes across in your lyrics that like you are there with your listener, not just like telling a story, but telling a story that matters to you. And it definitely like takes shape and form into that. So I think that's super awesome with what you do.
I appreciate that.
So is there anything new coming down the pipeline that we should be looking out for?
Yes, I haven't announced it yet, but I guess I'll just go ahead and do it on here. I am coming out with my next single on September 5th.
Oh my
So
goodness, that's so exciting.
yeah, September 5th, we're gonna have it's kind of a tearjerker, but we're gonna have a pretty sad one coming out. But I'm really excited for everybody to hear it.
All right, well, I asked you to bring 3 artists with you today that you wanted to plug. Who do you want to plug in your segment takeover?
Yeah, do you want the artist or songs
Yeah,
specifically?
songs and artists. You could say both.
All right, awesome. We'll go. I'll say "Good for Nothing" by my good buddy Matthew Goodnow.
Awesome.
Uh, we'll say "No More" by my buddy Grayson Downs,
Love it.
and "Hounds" by the JD Brook Band.
Ooh, that's a nice little solid lineup right there.
Yeah.
Well, Cooper, thank you so much for spending some time with me today. I'm very excited that we have some more tracks coming out for you, especially in September. But until then, everyone enjoy Miss Carolina. Hey guys, and welcome back to Off the Record with me, Isaiah, your favorite radio playlist where I help you discover new artists and new music. And today we have a very special guest, my new favorite rising country star, Mr. Rocco. Rocco, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me, Isaiah.
I'm so excited to chat with you today. You're young, you just released your second single. First you threw out Second Chances, and then you have Thinkin'. What has been your influences with music growing up, and who were they playing for you?
Well, I feel like music has been a pretty constant thing in my life before I even knew how to play anything. It was very constant for me. Like I always loved music. But I mean, it was a lot of everything. Like neither of my parents are musicians, but we had a lot of music going on. My mom always loved the old country stuff, and that's where I get that from. But my dad loves like the Eagles, stuff like that. So I got a bunch of different influences kind of going in. They all kind of compile.
Yeah, that's awesome that you say you like listen to like a classic rock group like the Eagles, and
the
they
Eagles,
influence.
that's number one for me. They're unbelievable.
That's so cool. What was the moment that you realized you wanted to become a musician yourself? Did it start with just guitar? Did it start with vocals?
Well, I always knew I could sing a little bit. Wasn't very good at the beginning, let me tell you, but I knew I could sing a little bit. And I remember just going to these concerts that a city near us was putting on this big green space, and just being like, that's what I'm gonna do. I saw these people on stage, and I ended up headlining that same like little festival like about a year ago.
So cool.
So it was kind of full circle because I just remember, and I always had a guitar laying around, and I picked it up and I couldn't put it down.
That's awesome. What age did you start playing at?
11. So
11.
It's not for that long. It was my birthday. I had some cash saved up, and I went over to Guitar Center and bought myself a guitar.
That's awesome. And remind me, how old? 15?
15. 16? Yes, sir.
15. Wow. And you have 2 big hits happening right now. The best way to describe your music, and correct me if I'm wrong, I keep telling everyone like it's this classic 90s country sound that's so I don't want to use the word old school, but so timeless. What has your writing process been like, and what has played influence into that?
Well, I mean, that's just the music I love, and it comes down to that's the music I love. It's 90s and older. Like I don't listen to much new stuff, but I do, you know. But I listen to it's
Yeah.
mostly old stuff, you know. And when it gets down to writing, I'll have like things come to me in the moment, and I keep folders in my phone. And you can see it if you ever went through my phone. I've got titles, I've got ideas, and I've got lines. So if
That's awesome.
line comes to me like I'm driving, I don't know, I'll just write it down or something, and I just keep them. And when it's time to write, I'll sit down there. You know, I'll think about what I want to write about, and I'll go through these lists, and I'll be like, this works, and this works, and then you just start flowing, you know?
Yeah. How often do you go back into them and really deep dive and go through them?
You know, usually it's like when I'm writing at home and I'm just starved for ideas, and I just feel like, you know, that writer's block feeling, and you just look through it, and it's a good way to get you going and to like start just putting the lyrics out there. Because if they don't get down on paper, the song's never gonna happen. I'm like that. I'm too much of a perfectionist, and I'm really trying to work on like, you know, if the lyrics don't go down, if they're bad, it doesn't matter. Just get the song, revise it later, you know?
Yeah. Like kind of get your first draft out there.
Yeah, exactly.
Then you can fine tune. Well, it's working. We're really enjoying it. So what is coming up for you that you're looking forward to? Because, you know, you're on this rise, you're on this grind. You say you do these shows, you have the 2 singles. What's coming up?
I don't know, man. I'm just excited. We're making moves. We're trying to do the thing. I'm still pretty much independent over here. So I'm trying to get on some more bigger tours now that we got music going out. And I'm just excited to do the thing.
Yeah, it's exciting. I think you're gonna have what I'm calling the Waylon Wyatt effect. You know, I saw him a year ago at a festival, and he was playing the smallest stage, and maybe there was like 60 people there. And now he has 5 million monthly listeners. I could totally see that going in your way and going in your favor. What are some dream collabs you have?
Oh, see this? This is a doozy. This is a good question. Number one artist all time for me, George Strait, and I think I think if we're talking dreams, not realistic dreams, that would be dream. That would be number one to have.
Hey, we never know. I could see it happening.
You never know. I like that attitude. You never know. I mean, that would be. Oh man, I might die. You know, that would be crazy.
You know, I had fun last night because you were on live and I hopped on for a little bit.
Yeah.
And right when I hopped on, you started playing Zach Top, and I was like, look, best of both worlds all in one.
Yeah.
And for you, that would be my dream, is to see you and Zach Top hit the road together.
Oh, that would be pretty fun. Yeah, he's awesome. You know, I saw him in a room of about 50 people about a year ago before his album came out. When he came to town, he was on his first tour. Oh my gosh, so good. It was wild. He played all the same songs that are just huge hits now. Super nice guy.
That's crazy. You know, I got tickets. I had already got the tickets to see him in Omaha. I didn't know who he was, but I'm like, oh, he has a cool name. I like 1 or 2 songs. And the venue, they had to change the venue for him. It was a sold out show, and it was the first stop on his tour.
Yes.
The album had came out in January. And I'm so grateful that I got to experience that album in that way. I even barricaded. I never do that. I never get up there and go to the front, but I got there early. I was like, I want to experience this whole thing.
That's so cool. Yeah, he was selling out. He played a theater over here near Atlanta. I'm like an hour north of Atlanta. It was down in Atlanta in Buckhead, and it was like a 2,000 person venue, and tickets were going for like $5,000. Like, it was unbelievable.
That's a Taylor Swift effect right there for him.
That's pretty wild. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. All right. Well, I asked you to bring in 3 songs from 3 other artists that we're going to play right after we hear your song. Who are those 3 artists you want to plug today?
Okay. Number 1, Music City, USA, Charlie Crockett.
Okay.
Love that song. Charlie is like, he's so cool. He's doing the thing. I love his, whatever they're doing to produce this. I should look into who it is, but whatever they're doing to produce these records, and this one personally would be my favorite. And then number 2, have you ever heard of the Reeves brothers? They're a duo.
No.
It's similar to Charlie Crockett. Oh my gosh. That's where it's at. They're brothers, obviously, for the name, but this one's called Spotlight. It's a great song. Number 3. Oh, see? Well, if we're going back to the topic of my single with Trey Hensley, this is a Trey Hensley tune. He covers a Grateful Dead song. It's called Friend of the Devil. And usually these kind of covers aren't better than the original, but I might go out on a limb and say it's better than the original because it's on Friend of the Devil, Trey Hensley. It's like a religious experience, honestly. It's pretty wild.
Well, I'm excited to listen to those tracks. And again, your music, it's incredible. Keep doing what you're doing, the way you're doing it. We're going to see, I'm calling it now. A year from now, you're going to be playing these headlining shows, and I'm going to be able to say, I knew Rocco. I interviewed him when he was right under 1K.
Well, I sure hope so, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Rocco. And here is his hit single, Second Chances. Welcome back to Off the Record, your favorite radio playlist where I help you discover new artists and new music. And speaking about discovering new artists and new music, we have a very cool guest today, Mr. Luke Robb, rising country star. How are you doing today, Luke?
What's up, guys? Happy to be here. Thanks for having me, man.
I'm so excited for you. We were just talking off camera about the success of your new single that we're going to talk about a little bit later. But my first question I always like to ask people is, what were your music influences growing up? Like, what were people playing around you? What do you remember hearing? Not what you discovered, but what was in your world, if that makes sense.
Yeah, man, totally. I grew up on a lot of country. I'm from Texas, Fort Worth, Texas. So country's been a big staple of my music. You'll hear it in my newer stuff. Raised I'm a Christian. That's a huge part of my music journey. So raised on Chris Tomlin and Toby Mac and those guys, and you'll hear a lot of like subtle things in my songs. But honestly, yeah, Christian, Ann Wilson, actually, if you ever heard of Ann Wilson, she has a song out called God and Country, and that's like the perfect way to say how I was raised with music. Like I had Christian over here and country music over here, and so you hear it a lot in my music now today. Yeah.
What would you say, because we're seeing a massive change in the way Christian music is made, and I think it's really cool how mainstream Christian is right now. What would you say are some of your favorite artists that are like leading that charge?
Totally. First off, I think it's awesome that there's so many artists doing it, because like the name of Christ is being pushed on a scale that we've like never seen before. So first off, some of my favorite artists right now in the Christian scene, this might sound a little weird. I love Ann Wilson's music. I think she's killing it.
At all.
I mean, she just opened for Morgan Wallen, which is like, for like anybody who will say like Christian music is going to be on like that stage, like it's insane. Really, really cool to see that. Another one, Mav City. I love what they're doing over there. Just super solid group. I have some friends that have gotten to work with them recently, and just
that's so cool.
Talked about how solid they are behind closed doors. And just what you see out front is what you is going on backstage too. And so those are two that are really awesome. More on like the worship side of things. I really enjoy Shane and Shane. So if you're looking to worship in the morning, they do a little Devo and stuff. And so
that's so cool.
Totally.
Well, I'm excited to talk about West to East. I think the storyline behind it is really beautiful, and I was wondering if you can get a little bit into it and its creation process.
Totally, man. West to East is, I call it the sequel to my first kind of hit-ish called Stained Glass Window. I've been doing long distance for 2 to 3 years.
Wow. Congratulations.
Thank you, man. Yeah, it's hard, but there's a lot of like good in it. There's a lot of fruit that comes from it. And so I noticed a lot of my audience was long distance couples. And the first song, I got back to school. I'm in college right now, and people were coming up to me like, "Hey, my friends got married to your song this year." Like it was the first dance, the Stained Glass Window. And I was like, this is the coolest thing ever. I love this little community that kind of circles around my music. It's a very niche community. And so I wrote West to East. I'll break down like a little bit about it, but like the start of the song says, time's been getting harder to tell because there's 2 clocks hanging on the east stairwell. And another lyric in there is like, "Hey, would you love me still when it's not easy? Because like my love will stretch from the west to the east." And like the whole thing about the song is like, hey, like, things are getting harder right now. And like, it's really hard with us being across the country. Like my girlfriend's in Texas. I'm here in Virginia. We're more north to south, but west to east with time. So things are getting a lot harder. We're far apart. Like, hey, will you love me still, even though it's hard? Like, we choosing to do this, you know? And so it's been so cool to see people just relate with it. It's been a cool to like have conversations with people that are really struggling with long distance.
Mhm.
And it's been a area where I've gotten to give people advice. I tell my friends all the time. It's a kind of joke. I've become a long distance therapist that like I'm only 21, but a lot of my DMs are like, hey dude, like how do you do long distance? So outside of like the artist part, like I get to kind of like walk alongside people through long distance. So it's been really, really cool. Yeah, that's a little bit of the story behind West to East.
I think that's really beautiful that people are coming to you based off of your music. They're resonating with it so much that they're like, hey, are you willing to help us with this? Be there, walk us through this. That's awesome.
Totally. Yeah.
You mentioned that you're going to school as well as creating music. I was wondering, what would you say to an artist who came to you and was like, I'm struggling with the balance of it all? What advice would you give them?
Like an artist who's maybe in school doing it?
Yeah, let's say there's an artist comes to you and they're like, hey, I don't know how to do the juggle and how do you do the juggle and the balance of it all?
Perfect. I think and what I've learned from a lot of my friends that are just way better than me doing it for a lot longer is like music will work as long as you have decent to good songs and you're willing to work your butt off at content. For me, it looks like I'm a super social dude. So I hang out with people till 1 a.m. And then whenever I get in bed at night, I edit until 2 a.m. And I know that the next day I'm going to be posting throughout the entire day. It's just like, it's really about how bad you want it. There's weeks where I put out a song and the first few videos didn't do good and I just quit on that song. And then like I posted a video 6 months later and the video went crazy. And it's like, if I would have wanted it more back when that song was released, that song could have been way bigger now. So something I would tell people is just plan ahead. I plan my content at least the day before, hopefully more. Always plan ahead because things pop up. Whether it's podcast or meetings with labels or things like that, like stuff happens. And as an artist, you just have to be like, my artist project is not first in my life, which I think is big. Like this kind of, I'm sorry, I'm kind of going on a rant here. But,
no, do it.
My artist project is not first in my life. And as a believer, Christ is like number one in my life. Like, am I getting my time with the Lord? Am I loving on others? Like pursuing that first, but second, like I think something huge as an artist. And even if I bet you have a lot of unbelievers that are listening to this, big as an artist is place others above yourself. Like whenever you're like, hey, I'm going to go hang out with my friends and like pour into others and love on others. And I'm going to help out others first. Like the artist project, like the me project, the Luke project, it falls into place. Like I've never had a moment in my artist career where I've been like, oh my goodness, like because I went and invested in somebody else, like I don't have enough time for me. You know, does that make sense?
It's you reap what you give is where the reward will come. It'll come in the long run. Yeah,
and totally like outside of like a biblical approach to it, just like I've noticed that just in life as an artist, like pouring into others, even outside of like pouring in people that have nothing to do with music, it is benefiting you in the long run. Loving on others benefits yourself so much than you could ever imagine when it comes to being an artist.
Talking about that journey, what was that moment for you when you were like, I do want to make music and this is the music I kind of want to make? Because like I mentioned to you, I love your music because I'm able to relate to it so much.
Thank you so much. The music journey is crazy. I'm sure you know this. I have an older brother named Graham, who is just killing. He does pop music, and he always did music. And like he's been killing it for a few years. I led worship for a while, and so I was like, "Hey, I wrote a country song. Will you come down to Liberty?" So he flew down to where I'm at school. We recorded the song. And I was like, I don't really care to be an artist. I don't feel that's where like I want to be putting my time right now. And then I just was like, I'm going to put out a song. And through that song, like, it led to me like getting to know so many people. And like, I'm such a social person that I was like, dude, like, this is the coolest thing ever, that like I get to put out music, and like it leads to me like getting to know people and love on people and like make relationships with people. Like even like me and you, like I would have never met you, and like we don't know each other very well yet, but like, we would never be on this call if it wasn't because I just decided to drop a song 8 months ago.
Exactly.
So yeah, that was like kind of why I got in. And then as far as like my style and me finding my sound, I would really only say I found that within like the last month.
Wow.
I think I DM'd you about this because we were talking a little bit, but most people haven't picked up on it. But my artist project for the last 5 months has been every single genre of country.
Yep.
Besides like super, super Texas country, just because I can't do that. I have too much respect for the genre for me to try to do that type of country, because I haven't lived that kind of life, but yeah, I did like folk country, I did pop country, I did rock country, I did the ballad singer-songwriter country, and just like tried to find, what do I like, what is my fan base already like, what can I relate to, what can I really pour my heart into. And I've kind of really settled on that like Dylan Gossett, Zach Bryan,
Noah
Khan style of like this weird mix of music. And that's kind of the style. I have 10 songs written in production right now that are all just that raw kind of Appalachian folk type style, which is like another massive inspiration of my music. So yeah, hopefully that answers it.
I love when you told me that too, because in that moment I actually went back and I re-listened to everything, and I was like, oh, I do hear the influences there. I do hear the influences there. And like I mentioned to you, I've been listening to your music all weekend as I was gearing up for our interview. And I think it's really cool. I think more artists should be doing what you're doing to help them discover their sound, because they really go off of what people tell them to do. And when I say people, I mean labels, management, but you being able to craft it based off of what you enjoy doing and what your audience enjoys doing, that's cool. Nobody else is doing that. Nobody else is really doing that.
It's very it's unconventional. People say like, hey, make your brand as an artist, and when you release your first song, that's your brand. And which I was saying is like, if I don't have a fan base yet, like I want to try my brand as an artist and throw as many darts at the board as I possibly can. That's why I release every 2 or 3 weeks, and really find my niche. And it's kind of worked. Like in the simplest way is like, I had 2 songs that are doing really well in the same niche, and the ones I really thought were going to do well in different genres have flopped. And it's like, okay, yeah, that flopped. Let's pivot. Let's figure out what we're going to do now. And
I think there's a key thing in what you said right there.
Yeah,
because I know many artists, and they put out a piece of work and it flops, and they're like, it's the end of the world. You use the keyword pivot, which is strong right there. You make that adjustment, you make that change, you go after what is okay. That didn't work, we're moving on. You know what I mean? Let's not dwell in it.
Yeah. And that doesn't mean like don't stay true to yourself, which I think a lot of artists like, and I'm still new to the artist game. Like I don't have it all figured out. I'm learning every single day. But I think a lot of us, it's like, hey, if we're not making like exactly the exact genre that we started out in, or like that we personally listen to, it's like, oh, you're not staying true to yourself. Like you're just selling out for the streams. And it's like, no, like this song West to East, I can say the message so much better in a Zach Bryan style folk song than I can in a heavy rock song.
Yeah.
My song Light a Match, that's just about like, babe, we're on fire. Like, let's go after I love you so much. I can't say that in the style of song that I wrote West to East. And so it's about pivoting to where your heart is in the music. And And yeah, so hopefully that helps somebody.
Yeah. Well, words. Well, before we play West to East, I asked you, it is my favorite question. I always love asking guests to bring 3 songs from 3 other artists that they want to plug. So who are your 3 songs from your 3 other artists? And feel free to explain why you chose them.
Okay, totally. 2 of them are bigger than me, so they're not like underground. But the first one is my man James Tucker. He is like, I pull a ton of inspiration from him. He opens on a lot of Dylan Gossett's tours.
Okay.
But he's just been like super nice to me. My fiddle player went and played for him once, and replies to DMs, which is like so cool for smaller artists.
Awesome.
He just like has talked to my fiddle player like, oh, I love this song by Luke. I love this song. And like, it's just like, he probably doesn't even remember who I am or like know anything about it, but it means a ton to me. You know,
Yeah.
It's like, that's how I want to be as an artist. But James Tucker, my favorite song by, I don't know, Man I Am is like crazy, but that's like more of like his biggest one. So I don't want to be like a full fan. He's got a song called October that is crazy. So yeah, that was James Tucker. Second one, who is blowing up right now, but I was on him. I was a day one, I would say, is Zach John King. I don't know him. He's right now the like first opening slot on the Morgan Wallen tour, the I'm the Problem tour. And dude, he's got a song called Lose You that is one of the craziest chorus melodies I've ever heard in country music. Like, he's kind of found this way to do this like pop music, pop country, but it's not like I used to be like a very country purist, and like I listen to it and I'm not like, oh, this is gross pop country. It's like it has like these pop melodies with like the folk country vibe, and it's crazy. Yeah, Lose You is insane. He would actually be offended probably if he ever heard that I said it's not.
We'll make sure to send it to him.
I won't see it, but for me. But yeah, he's awesome. The last one, never communicated with this kid. I just like his stuff on Instagram. His name is Duke Jones.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. Well, Duke Jones, we've never communicated. I don't even know if we follow each other, but I just see his stuff all the time, and then I rarely like see a song and I'm like, yeah, I'll go check it out on my Spotify, because I'm like, I have my music and I like my music. But dude, his song Match, I think it's called Matches, is so fire. Like, that's exciting. So good. It's totally like not what I expected. And that's like one like I saw on TikTok and was like, boom, straight to the playlist. So yeah, those are my top 3. James Tucker, Zach John King, and Duke Jones.
Solid. Well, Luke, thank you so much for coming on today, for chatting with me, for sharing your music, and also for your insight. I know there's a lot of people who are going to listen to this and hopefully take something out of it. So go listen to right now. It's going to play West to East. She don't break it like she used to. Now it's time for my favorite segment. And I really mean that. Every week I mean that this is my favorite segment, because throughout the week I spend time thinking, okay, who are the 3 new artists I want to share? Who are the 3 new artists I share? And then I keep a giant notes list of everybody that crosses my mind, crosses my page. Like, if you send me your music, I want you to know I really take the time to give it attention when I listen to it. I don't listen to it while I do busy work. If someone's sending me new music, I'm going to sit, I'm going to listen. And here are 3 artists that I think you need to know. I wrote notes, because sometimes I just fly off the seat of my pants. Today I wrote notes. First one, I'm so excited for this one. Cash Cortez is a Puerto Rican country artist, and what I love about his work is he is blending these traditional brown sounds into country music in a beautiful way. And it actually reminds me of a lot of how Pug Johnson blended a lot of Mexican influences into his work that he was doing. But this Puerto Rican artist is going to change the game. He is going to pave the way for a whole new generation of artists. Like, I really am finding him as a founding father of this new sound that he's creating. Like, I'm obsessed. And you deserve to give him the attention that he deserves. So there's Cash Cortez. Then David Cook. And this man just needs a guitar. He is a super strong singer-songwriter who pulls you in with just his voice and a guitar. And you don't see much artists like that. It's all about the show. It's all about the effects. But this guy, I would pay top dollar to just see him with his guitar. It's just simple to say. And then Trey Holloway, who has some of the strongest storytelling in the game. Everything that he releases, I enjoy. And I'm super excited because he's actually dropping a new song this Friday that I'm super excited about. And yeah, so those are my three: Cash Cortez, David Cook, and Trey Holloway. I hope you enjoyed this country edition of Off the Record. As you know, I love country music. And that surprises a lot of people for some reason. But I'm really excited for you to listen to these artists. Go back and listen to these interviews when you did. I'm just blabbing. I enjoyed today. Thank you so much for listening. I'll see you all next week. Bye.